go. Trying to get this. Oops. Uh oh. What the hell is this? See the junk. On the other side, Vigilante Williamson here with another episode of me on the road to 1,000. I'm very close to it. We are starting to market our music, so we are running ads. Full disclosure. Not putting a ton of money though behind it. Um, we'll see how far we go. We're just gonna run ads for like 2 or 3 days, maybe a whole week. We'll see. Um, this is what everyone else. I mean, shit, people do way worse than this. But we're trying to promote the music, not on DSP platforms. Borrowing Nostalgia that doesn't exist is out on YouTube, out on SoundCloud. Working on DSP platforms. The album's currently being mixed and mastered. As soon as it's mixed and mastered, hot off the presses, we're just gonna put it up. Put it up on my own site, put it up on Bandcamp, put it up on all the good platforms, and hope for the best. So we're doing some pre-promo. Hey, Zombie Man. Happy morning to you. This being an actual phone stream, I won't be able to play links. I guess I could try from my my iPad, but But thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. This is my first time marketing this. I just hope this matters, man. All I've been thinking about is I'm gonna just keep it real with you guys. I'm putting this music together. They got another project right behind it, so I'm like putting these projects together. I honestly can't wait to just start from a complete, fresh, new slate and start over with a new project. And then it's just like, man, is any of this shit gonna matter? Am I putting my money? I'm starting to start a business. Super Vigilant Entertainment is official. I put my money behind this. I put all this effort into this. Every little day is something else. And it's like, is this going to be worth it? How are we? We're doing good. We're going forward. We're trying not to be trapped. We're trying to live our dreams out while we still got a chance in this crazy world. Because only God knows how long we got left, and only God knows what's going to happen the next day with the craziness that is the government. Who knows? So, and a lot of things that I didn't think would happen, I gotta admit that I was just wrong with the government. So we'll see what happens with that. I forgot to put the no politics tag, so I'm still not gonna talk about it. But yeah, right now I'm just trying to release this music. Am I doing everything perfectly? Probably not, but I'm just doing the best I can, and then we'll go from there, and then keep trying to market this music and put this stuff out. It'll be a little bit easier once I have more than just one song to market. You just keep constantly promoting the same song, even after a few days, it gets a little boring. But once we get more songs, and before we know, we'll have 12 songs between two projects to market, and we'll be marketing that until we can release more, basically. So that's what I'm signing up for. Like I said, roll to 1,000. So if you're new here, please share, subscribe. We talk about whatever, but focus on the NFL lately because it's the NFL season. Still getting my other stuff in. Just talked about Taylor Swift. It looks like her fans are either waking up or switching up. And Zombie Main, like I said, I got my iPad. Accidentally unplug it, trying to grab it. Okay, it's not to be. But unfortunately, well, everybody else can check out the link. But unfortunately, I can't play it and keep the stream going. This being a phone stream, so that sucks. But everyone else gets to check out the music. And speaking of which, are you and your dad putting out, or are you your dad, are you individually ever going to put out any projects? And I get this. Listen, I get why a lot of people are down on Spotify. I still don't like Spotify, but I did a poll a few weeks ago. 50% of everyone still gets their music from Spotify. Now, there's only 4 options. They only give you 4 options, but at the end of the day, Spotify is still the dominant release format. I'm gonna try Bandcamp and do my own site as well. But it just is what it is. Good morning. Boom, 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 boom. Appreciate you being here. It's the morning ? Show because it's a morning or it's a night. It's pretty much morning. It's 5 a.m., probably 5:15 or whatever time it is local time here in Texas, Texas. So whatever. But going way back to the Taylor Swift thing, it's been a kind of a funny thing. I didn't really get that much pushback. I was kind of alarmed. And I guess it's no political tag is. I will say at least this much. I got more pushback for making fun of politicians than I have making fun of pop stars. And that kind of scares me. Now, don't get me wrong. People being creepy over pop stars is weird. But the fact that the political has replaced the pop culture for so many people is a bit scary. It's a bit scary that, well, listen, you really shouldn't be holding none of these people in high regards, right? Pop stars are trash. Politicians are trash, and the political is trash. And the political is theater too. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. Hey, Reeves, appreciate you being here. Chama, not sure what that means, but I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Um, but that parasocial relationship is fake between pop star and fan, and it's fake both ways. Even the fan, um, Richard. Shout out to Richard. Richard. He even feels a little bit bad for Taylor Swift. It's like all these people who supported this music, and her music has been the same. From to the to the average person who's not a Swifty, her music sounds the same. I'm not saying just like whatever somebody gives you. I do get, how sometimes the artist delivering something similar that maybe on the surface seems similar to what they usually deliver. It may not actually be that. I understand that, right? But just the criticisms of how her music are, just hearing the same criticism that everyone else had from Taylor Swift fans, it's just like, man, these people really were attracted to that story. Hey, Trish, you said hi. I'm saying hi to you. People were attached to that story, attracted to that story. And now that she's married or whatever or engaged, the story's over. And people are mad now they're just going on to the next pop star they can have that parasocial relationship with. And, I hate to quote Drake, but it's reminds me of that line, something about a stripper, but to her, I'm just a rapper, and someone she'll have another. It's the same sort of thing where the fan just kind of consumes the musician or consumes the pop star. They're done with them. They move on to the next one. What are we talking about? Out of all things, I started off talking about Taylor Swift because I made a video over the weekend how her new album. I mean, I don't like her music at all, right? But it sounds pretty much the same. But a lot of her fans, not all, there's been a lot of fans who still love her album, who even some fans in my comments, but a lot of the fans are starting to rebel against her music. And I'm of the opinion, I'm not the only one with this opinion. It's because her story has changed, because she's now getting married and isn't just writing diss songs on celebrities. Now her fans are noticing how weak and cheesy her music is because they're using some of the same criticism. So why Taylor Swift of all things? I think it's just a place to talk about parasocial relationships. You don't know what parasocial relationship is. It's the relationship both ways between a celebrity and their fans, or a lot of times it's used for online celebrity, but just any celebrity can be this idea that you're one of a Swiftie. That's part of your identity type thing. So there's a lot to be talked about. Yeah, I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan. But I think parasocial relationships, especially as we enter this internet age, we deal with this loneliness epidemic. People start to look for people outside themselves and outside their lives as something to relate to. And this isn't new, but it's just being ramped up as time goes on. So it's just an interesting jumping off point to me. It's fine to reflect on things in the past, but don't get stuck. Those things will never last. Hey, somebody knows my song. Thank you, Boosh. I appreciate that, man. Sorry if you've been getting spammed. I feel bad that some of the people who may really actually already like my content may be feeling spammed, and I apologize for that. But I have no fucking clue how to market music, and I want people to hear my music. So thank you for actually knowing the lyrics. I feel warm and fuzzy, Boosh. Warm and fuzzy. Good morning, and I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well, bro. Yeah, I'm just trying to put out this music. Hopefully, we'll be on all platforms in the coming weeks. It's an earworm. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, man. Because I'm just doing the best I can. We and got more music to release even after this, so we're gonna keep it going. Have an exam today. I see. Well, good luck on the exam. Good luck on the exam. Now you saying that, my brother is going to school. Man, I need to check on him. Let's see how he's doing. Boosh, right? It's 4:20. Let's spark it up. It probably is 4:20. We are ICE agent 007. I actually can. I'm not gonna do it on camera. Bowl right next to me. So it is. If it's 4:20 where you are, I think it's 5:20 where I am. But hey, I'll take it. All right. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hey Trish, do I like football? I love football. I've been making a lot of video content on football. Trish, I'm a big Lions fan and kind of an adopted Texas fan. And I follow most of the teams. I try to make videos. I just made a video was it yesterday or the other day about Baltimore and Texans, both being teams that are kind of disappointing. They had a game. There was a blowout on Sunday, just where both teams are going. I want to make a few more videos for this week. I also, speaking of content, spent a long time doing my power rankings. Where are the membership emojis? Oh no, not a Chiefs fan. Well, I'm glad you guys lost. To be honest, um, I need to get on that. I did need to get on that. The only emoji I have is the logo. I need more emojis. I need more emojis. I gotta talk to someone about getting it done. But yeah, you're a Chiefs fan. I'm glad you guys are losing. You got to face the Lions next. I'm actually still worried about the Chiefs, even though why? because because you're good. Because you're good. That's how that goes. Oh man, thank you, Boosh. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. You've been a vigilante because I got to do more for the members. I got to do more for the members. I can't just treat y'all like crap. I'm trying to at least give y'all stuff early. But I got to do more. I got to do a lot more. So thank you. I'll try to get on emojis and thank you. But I guess it's just common once a dynastic team is established. Though I wonder if the Chiefs still have that dynasty, right? If it's not time to start to do not a whole rebuild, but there's a lot to be missing on that offense. It's not the same offense it was a few years ago when you had Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes were putting up all those numbers. It is a team that just won 2 Super Bowls until last year, right? So still pretty good team. Not as good anymore. That's true. That's true. Like especially after yes or not yesterday. Now that was 2 or 3 days ago. That Monday night game, which I did not expect. I thought that y'all would beat the Jaguars. I don't really think much of the Jaguars, but it shows how wrong I am, man. Shows how wrong I am. Shout out to Jacksonville. And I think you know why a lot of people don't like you. Speaking of that game, it's those refs, man. Some of the calls, there was a weird pass interference call or no call, and then there was a touchdown that got called back, got called turnover on downs that could have been a touchdown. Well, the divorce album will come, right? That's one thing I didn't talk about in my video. There, because these are celebrities, right? So the divorce album will come. We'll see. I'm assuming they'll go at least 3 to 5 years, right? So it'll be after he retires. I'll say that much. It'll be after he retires. But there will be a divorce album, and that's when she'll probably get more of her fans back. That'll be her quote unquote comeback album. Because that's the thing. That's what she sells. She sells the story. Check out shout out to Paradigm Shift. It says check out the Stanford University Engineer Web3 project, the Pi Network, Google Mine Pi. Whoa, I don't know anything about that. But cool. You know what? I said on my podcast last week, which I try to do Wednesdays and Thursdays before the game start. I had picked the Broncos to upset the Eagles. I picked that one. I picked a couple upsets, but I didn't pick the Rams. I got that one wrong. I think I got to check. But I know I picked the Broncos. What was the other upset I picked? Oh, the New England beating the Bills. Because the Bills defense just looks suspect. I'm like, man, the Bills defense, they're getting by, they're winning these games. But their defense is not good. And when they face just a competent offense, they're going to have some smoke. A competent offense with just a competent defense, which is what New England is. They're not special, but they're competent. And that might be enough to give them some smoke, especially when their schedule is so easy. They played the Ravens the first game, and obviously that was the best really the Ravens have been all year. So you look at the Bills. Well, they played some teams, but they're just like, man, they're kind of just beating up on the weak teams. When a real team faces them, they're going to have some problems, and that's what happened with New England. That's what happened with New England. Let's see, 8 touchdowns. You do, I thought a little more than that. Unless you're talking about the game she shows up to. I know Travis Kelsey has like crazy stats when Taylor Swift goes to a game. You can never be a real life vigilante. You're not built that way, nor do you have the guts to actually go out there. You know what, Nico? You are correct. Hey, B Catword, that's why I'm an internet vigilante. I wish I did though, bro. I wish I could be a real vigilante, but you would get caught trying to be a vigilante. I do see there's actually I think a real life superhero. I want to say he's based out of. If you, I mean, have I, believe it or not, I've actually thought about it mainly for like story purposes. But like, okay, what would it actually take to try to fight crime? Well, the big issue is the government is going to find out. The government is going to find out because they have helicopters and satellites, and so they can tell where you, no matter what. Let's say I was crime fighting in Houston. They know where I'm going to leave. You would need maybe a network of underground tunnels or something. Where let's say I live on the east side of a city, I could drive to the west, find a tunnel, and tunnel under, unbeknownst to the government, to my home. But outside of that, you will get found out, right? Because the government is going to find out what direction you travel to and from to find out where you are, who you are. So that's an unfortunate inevitable. Plus all the cameras and everything else. It's impossible, right? But the tactical stuff, like you would have to be a near UFC level fighter, a striking and you'd have to be genius level intellect. You would need tons of equipment. You would need all sorts of Kevlar, carbon fiber type suits, and then you need very very high tech setup of your own to do surveillance, plus a high tech setup as far as weaponry. More than likely, you would need a gun. I don't think you can be a real life vigilante like Batman and have a no kill rule and just everything. I just don't think that's possible. So I have actually thought about it. It's very impractical, right? So here I am on the internet. Here I am on the internet. Hey, Gordo, appreciate you being here. Nico just hating. Who's Nico? Oh, Nico, the guy I was talking about. No, he's good. Used to like the Bucks, the Redskins, Texans. Stopped watching football in 2018. Stopped watching altogether a few years ago. I'm coming back to football because I definitely, once a lot of it was the weird catch stuff. They did it with. That was really it. They did it with both Calvin Johnson and Des Bryant, where it's not a catch, it is a catch, and that was coming off. There was so much referee stuff. It just started to feel fake. I'm like, man, these referees have too much control, and they keep changing the rules to, and then just like it's just too much. It's just too much. It was too much referee stuff. That was my real reason, and they started changing the rules about hits, so now everything's a penalty. So this is still an issue with me. It's something that still bothers me. How many penalty flags happen in a given game? Because I compare it to something like basketball. Well, yeah, there are going to be a lot of fouls called in any given game. But in NFL, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be too many penalties called. Yeah, you get a holding penalty every once in a while, a pass interference every once in a while, but you don't have to call so many penalties. You can allow the game to be played I just feel like there was so many penalties. I kind of stopped watching religiously around 2013, 2014, whenever that catch situation happened. I kind of kept up with it and got back into it because the Lions got good in 2023. Once the Lions got good, that's what really got me back into it. For real, for real. Because the Lions were never good. I mean, we would go to playoffs every once in a while, but we were never that great. He said the commissioner of WNBA is getting heat because she sucks. Haven't been keeping up with the WNBA. Oh, I have shown this a couple times, Trish. I got tons more, but I got just a few action figures, which I actually haven't been buying as much recently. And I don't know if you can in the background see like trash or whatever. I apologize. But yeah, I got just Superman, Daredevil, Captain America, and I got a bunch more. I have a bunch more. And I have like a studio set up, and I got some even beside me on the windowsill. A lot of some Batman, some Superman, some Street Fighter stuff. So yeah. Hey Goose, going back to the WNBA, I haven't been keeping up with that. I know they got a labor issue, which I'm mixed on. It's okay because here's what's happened. A lot of people will tell you, and this is true, that the WNBA has been subsidized by the NBA. This is a correct statement. WNBA for most years have not really been able to put together, um, enough money to really even afford itself. But they have recently sold franchises in the hundreds of millions of dollars to a couple of new cities. And so now that they're doing that, it's like, well, I can understand why you might want a little bit more money, because if the friend something you're doing that for a reason. Is the WNBA going to get a big TV deal that's going to change that profitability? Um, Love it, hate it or not, because of Caitlin Clark, and now you can add Paige. There is a heightened interest in the WNBA than has ever been, at least in my lifetime. So maybe they are about to get a TV deal. We also have this weird thing where TV and streaming services need content, and they're paying sports leagues a lot of money for that live content. So we'll see what happens with the WNBA. It does seem like maybe money is about to be made, and maybe that the players aren't as crazy and as there's been a lot of that shit has been batshit, but it looks like there's some signs that maybe the money is on the horizon. And so you do understand where the players are like, okay, if the money's about to show up, it's time for us to get our chair in the bag. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens. Jesus. 25% of all flagrant fouls is bananas. That's bananas. 50 million a year. Yeah, it usually loses a ton of money. It loses a ton of money. The Kaepernick stuff. Oh, I remember that some of the players were mad. There was some guy, they just, because it was 2020 was such a fever dream. And they put some guy's name and it turned out the guy was like a rapist or something. Yeah, I do remember that. And the players found out they didn't want to wear it, but they got so caught up they were just looking for another name to spread that whole narrative. So they didn't even think twice, and they put it up. And yeah, that was, I think that 2020 was a mess. I think a lot of people still stuck in 2020 and don't realize 5 years have passed, going on 6. It'll be 2026, and what 10 weeks, 11 weeks. Time flies. 25% off flagrant fouls is crazy. That's nuts. That's nuts. But she's gained a hell of a lot more popularity for that league than For somebody like me to pay attention, you need like 15 to 30 Caitlin Clarks, but we'll see. You got Paige Buchers or Beckers, however her name is. I think this is her rookie year, and she looks pretty exciting. So maybe you do have enough players coming down that pipe to make this league a little bit more marketable. We will see. Jacob Blake, serial pedophile, got pew when he went for a knife. Remember the case? I don't remember which the case was. When you said that name, I think that's the guy. There's a creator on the internet named Brandon Jamal. I think he was related to one of those guys. And I think Jacob Blake is the guy. That name sounds familiar. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy work. Yeah, he put his name on Judge. That's crazy. I don't know if it was because they didn't explore the situation, didn't care, but yeah, that was not a good look. I mean, listen, I forgot to put the no politics thing up for this show, so I guess it's sort of on. But I'm at a point where I don't even want politics in my life no more, man, because I got to focus on my life. Focus on, even though I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, I doom scroll. The whole idea of doing these streams is because I know other people doom scroll, so I doom scroll, and sometimes I'll send shit. But I'm cooked with politics personally, and letting it affect my life, and I gotta live, man. I gotta live. Look like I'm robbing gas stations. I am not robbing the gas stations. Uh, Wayland, Utani. And who has a cool mask like this robbing the gas station? He usually just a shyster. Come on, who's doing this? This hat doesn't help. The only reason I wear the hat, right, is because this is really a lucha mask, and I don't want it to be a lucha mask. I want it to be like more of a Spider-Man style mask. So I just need something to cover up the seams. So that's the only reason I wear the hats. It's because of that. We're not robbing gas stations. We're digital vigilantes. Really, I'm not even a vigilante. I'm just an anonymous internet personality. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs. We're dangerously close. My watch time's nowhere near close to be monetized, but that's the goal long term. Um, so yeah, man. And we talk about whatever. Like I said, I'm trying to talk about less politics. Why I usually put it up, or I have in the recent streams. But what the fuck you got going? Hey, Levi Chin, what do I have going? Just talking shit on the internet like everybody else. Trying to make music, trying to talk about life, trying to get through this crazy thing called life while we still living. Can't talk about sports because of politics. I think you can now. Well, to some extent you can now. It's a lot easier to now. There was that point. 2020 made everyone, I think, overrate politics, and I still think it's being overrated. Like I don't think when we talk about football, most people are not talking about politics. They're talking about yardage. They're talking about which player. It's been a few years. Again, 2020 is 5 years ago, man. Yes, I do make music. I've been promoting music. I got a EP coming out called "Borrowing Nostalgia That Doesn't Exist." It's a synth pop EP, slightly 80s inspired. Though that's coming out. Hopefully the next couple of weeks. I can put it on DSP platforms. It's currently being mixed, and yeah, I make music, and I also make videos. I've been making videos and doing streams for a while. Um, just recently made a video on some NFL teams. Before that, I made a video on Taylor Swift. So I talk about whatever, and that's one of my biggest, gifts ain't cursed. Beautiful day starts with a beautiful rose. Happy Hump Day. Thank you, Amanda Bynes. Shout out to the other Amanda Bynes. I'm not sure if your name just happens to be spelled that way or was that intentional. But I remember the Amanda show and all that and all that. I'm gonna check out your channel and see if I'm gonna post it on your channel. You post shorts of the industry and rap artists. Okay, pretty cool. I've been, thinking like, man, I need to look out and find people who post smaller artists and who big up smaller artists. We don't. I'm old as shit. Back in the day, Source had some shit called unsigned hype, and they don't have that anymore. Now, granted, you still need like a manager to get to unsigned hype, but the idea was you send in your demo tape, and if it was nice, even if you wasn't signed, they'd give you some, hey, this artist is nice, and a lot of artists came up off of that, Eminem, DMX, and others. So I wish there was more stuff like that, and so I need to find more stuff like that so I can promote music. And so yeah, the last name is Spanish, so it's not Amanda Bynes, it's Amanda like Venus. I may have that wrong. So yeah, what do you think about the current industry, Levi? Rap's in a weird place where I think underground is doing okay. mainstream, maybe not quite where it once was numbers wise, and it's see, okay, I did my best I can, and hopefully, I guess it was good enough. What do you think about the current industry right now, Levi Chino? And who's the artist you really checking for right now in the big 2025? The Cardi B got the hottest shit out. I will say this, even though I'm not the biggest Cardi fan, I did appreciate her rollout, her marketing, going back to New York, selling the vinyl and selling the CDs on the train and shit. I thought that was very cool. That was very very cool, very funny, and very real. Her rollout. So she had one of the more entertaining rollouts of this year. Her music ain't a cup of tea, but I respect her. I mean, shit, she had the game on Smash a few years ago. Going back to 2020, she had the game on Clamps. I mean, I know she got her own personal thing, and that kind of is taken away from her music. And she is what she is. I think a lot of people when she first came out was kind of hating, and I kind of was on that. But once she's just everybody ain't supposed to be. I'm at a point because I'm old where I'm starting to appreciate artists for what they are. You know what I'm saying? Cardi B is what she is. You know what I mean? Every artist is what they are. The Clips are what they are. Billy Woods is what he is, and fucking Future is what he is. Artists are what they are. So it's not. You know, Again, I may not listen to every track. I may not be searching for. I'm not gonna sit up there and hate on nobody. Especially now that I'm actually releasing music. This shit is so fucking hard. So I make both synth pop and hip hop. My first project is going to be a synth pop project that's coming out in the next few weeks, and then as soon as I can after, be releasing a hip hop project after that. In the style of synth pop, I kind of like try to emulate the '80s, trying to do like a synth wave type thing, and then with hip hop, it's a lot more sample based and a lot more kind of beats and rhymes based. Um, Not maybe and you can argue on both sides a little bit more of a nostalgic thing. So okay, let me explain. I'm a huge fan of Daft Punk. I'm a huge fan of MF Doom. Deep down, I'm trying to emulate both of those artists, right? That's what I'm trying to do. Now, is it coming out like that? No, but that's the gift, right? Because me fucking up on that comes up with something new, right? So that's the idea of emulating something like close to what MF Doom was doing, and then something close to what Daft Punk was doing, but with separate projects. So and eventually, to combine later on as I get better at doing it. So that's the idea. No love for Cardi, but you was rooting for. Stuck with your old school. Nothing wrong with that either. I love old school. Cardi B lawsuit. Security guard should be charged for false prosecution. No evidence. Oh yeah, I do remember that lawsuit. And if I remember she won. Or am I don't know if she won or it was settled. Uh, he said, Slime, I just checked out your video. Why you trolling you? How am I trolling you? I think the music is evolving, the sound is evolving, a lot of new artists out. Okay. How am I trolling you? This man said Daft Punk. Yeah, Daft Punk. Shout out to Daft Punk. And I still listen to a lot of old school stuff too. So yeah. So hey, if just wait, if this ain't for you, I'll have a hip hop project in the next month or two out. So maybe that'll be for you, Levi Chino. We'll see. Thank K2JD Extreme. Appreciate you being here. Surprised you ain't playing Fortnite. I appreciate you being here, man. For the morning question mark show. Daft Punk came to Fortnite. Was rolling deep with that out there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did see they had like a Daft Punk Fortnite thing. I'm like a G Perico, West Coast rapper. Okay. Okay. It's been a few people from the West on some of these recent streams since I've been streaming from my phone. Shout out to the West Coast. Shout out to the West Coast. Where does hate come from? Ooh, deep. Um, Confusion, fear, self-preservation sometimes, believe it or not. Um, and sometimes these you go so far with self-preservation that you hate sometimes embarrassment. You don't want to acknowledge your own faults, so you project them on something else. It'll be a lot of places. Insecurity got to tag you into those vids. No problem, man. It's cool. See, it comes from a lot of places. Best answer so face. For how do you overcome hate? Prayer, and having something else to focus on. Uh, I'm not perfect, but I don't sit. I don't sit and dwell on it. And then you know what? OG recently hit me with there's no such thing as bad days, only bad moments. You'll let you might have. Let's say you having a day, you going to work, you low on gas, and you run late. Maybe you spill something on your outfit or something like that. Get to work late. You have a few problems at work. Well, all those moments, we're probably talking about what 10 minutes of inconvenience in the whole 24 hours. So you're gonna let that whole 10 minutes ruin your whole day? Sometimes you do. We're human, but you shouldn't, right? It's only 10, 15 minutes. So you don't let those bad moments ruin your whole day. And I just made some stuff up off the top. It could be sometimes it is worse. You gotta address issues. If you got, if you're in a boat and that shit leaking, you gotta address why it's leaking and hopefully try to save yourself, obviously. But 90% of things ain't that serious. So try not to if you don't have all the less insecurity, less negative feelings you have inside yourself, well then there's no way for you to generate for somebody else or for something else, right? Because you'll be so at peace. How could you be in hate? So trying to be at peace, trying to not let things spiral out of control to where it gets something. Hey, if you have an issue with somebody, just address it, and you don't got to be aggressive. You just address it and say, hey, is there a problem? Is there something I could do to make this right? What's going on? And just be an adult, being an adult. So that's what it is. I'll be back. Going to go do that now. Cool. People who let nothing issues ruin their whole week. Take it out on you. That sucks. But that's. I think hate is a personal issue. Yeah, and I'm sorry to hear that, Boosh. The people take out their frustration because the people take out their. I think it's an expression, and I'm just one person. You could argue, and somebody can have a definition much better and is much more apt. But I think a lot of hate is an expression of some feeling of inadequacy, and then you project it in some way towards a concept or a group. Now I say that there's also the objective, like, hey, I don't like this TV show. Oh man, I really hate this artist. Oh man, and that's kind of a different type of hate. That's just like, hey, sometimes something just doesn't fit with you. Everything's not for everybody, right? Everything's not going to vibe. But I suspect that's not what you mean when you mean hate. You're talking about maybe hate amongst groups or hate amongst ideologies, whatever the case may be. I would imagine you're talking about something bigger than just I don't like this TV show or I don't like this song. And in that case, we're just talking about different tastes, and different people are going to have different tastes. Everything's not for everybody. But you talk about hate between an individual and another. People hate their spouses. Married for years, hate their spouse. It's just like why? You know what I mean? That person cares about you. You should try to work it out. Uh, how could you reconcile? Do I have to? Because I mean, if it's their issue, it's their issue. I can try to if extend the olive branch, and if they don't want to take it, that's on them. And I just leave it alone, and they feel how they feel. For 8-3 Monday, got everything that could go wrong. Got to take it in stride. Just a shitty day. Yeah, when you do have a bad day, sometimes you just got all right. That was today. I got to wake up and try it again. I'm sorry to hear that though, bro. Hope things get smooth for you. Hey, Richard, if I didn't say anything to you, Richard, and hey, Eternal Nemesis, that you have, maybe they impose hate. So that depends. I guess it depends on the situation. Do you have to interact with this person? Now, let's say this is a coworker and they hate you. That's a tricky situation because nobody want to mess with your money in this economy. Maybe you do got to take it to a boss or a human resource situation, and maybe you got to be separated, and you know you got to do what you got to do. But I would say do the best you can. Extend the olive branch. If they don't want it, you got to leave it alone if you can. What if it's a family member? What if it's your mom, your uncle, your auntie, somebody, your father-in-law, your mother-in-law? Then it is an issue. Then I guess I don't know. I can't. I don't know how to tell somebody how to feel. All you say is, "Hey, if you don't like me, you gotta respect me. Be respectful, and I'll be respect. If you're respectful of me, I'll be respectful of you. If you're not, I'm not, and just gotta live with it. Because at a certain point, you can't. There's no law that says you have to make somebody like you, and honestly, there's no rule book or way to make somebody like you. You might Streisand affect you. I guess that's really when you take something bad, but the opposite of Streisand effect. You going hard to make somebody like you, and it end up people hating you. So I guess in that case, it's trying to hide something and ends up making it more famous and bigger for trying to hide it. But the similar thing can happen. Oh, I'm trying to get this person to like me, or at least be civil, and it makes things worse. So you can't live through somebody else. You know what I mean? Because at a certain point, the answer is cut them out your life if you can do it. And because I gotta live, I gotta move on. You know what I mean? I can't. If it's a marriage, the marriage has to end. If it's a relationship, the relationship has to end. That's the answer. Because if you're sitting there still dwelling, if it's a job, if they don't fire them, they gotta quit, which sucks in this economy. But you get to that point, had disrespectful bosses, communication shut down, nothing but one word answer. From now on, they eventually start ignoring me. Man, I've dealt with some of that too. And I just, in cases like that, I ended up just doing as much as I could. I stopped asking questions. It's just, all right, well, I'm just going to figure out what to do. And they're going to either fire me or they won't. You know what I mean? And I was blessed to not get fired. You know what I'm saying? If you get to that point, because that's all I can think to do is to eventually shut them out of my life to the greatest extent that I can. That may not be the best answer, the right answer, but I got to live. And so if you get to the point where you can't even have a conversation with your boss, well, that's on them too, because they didn't have to get it to this point. So I'm gonna do what I want to do and do what I think is right. And if I make a mistake or if they do something wrong or I get, that's just how it goes. And then I'm gonna try to look for another job, which I know in this economy may not be as viable as it once was, even 5, 6, 7 years ago. So it is what it is. Self-preservation only works until it becomes immoral. Well, at what point does it become immoral? You can make these weird tweets, get fired from the MCU, make mid DC movies, and people will respond to you on social media like you're above criticism all of a sudden. I feel like you're talking about somebody. Yeah, come over something. Yeah, you just like, all right, I'm gonna get the job done, do the best I can. Hopefully, I can find something else. And sometimes even then, the time I did was like I was still there for another year dealing with this shit. Just how it goes. Sometimes you do get to that. Sometimes you get to that situation where it's like, but I must have been doing something right because they didn't fire me for that year, right? So sometimes you just trust yourself. Ready, 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 ready for 3 minutes there blatantly and go ready. I say, okay, you go back to work. It's success always. It becomes more when your life is more important than others. Who's making that decision? If they're making that decision, they're making that decision too. I know a lot of times I've heard this argued like a self defense argument. Maybe I'm in Texas, I don't know. But the idea is like, oh, you would kill somebody for your property. It's like, well, yes and no. If somebody is entering in my house violently, they're risking my life. And if that person decides to risk my life for my property, I don't know, they may kill me. So no, it's not necessarily I'm trying to kill this person for my property. I'm killing this person or shooting this person because I want to live and I was in my home peacefully. They disturbed me. I have to live. They're the one who made the decision. They made the immoral decision to steal. And I'm making the decision to now defend myself. Now, yeah, could it get to a point if I'm kidnapping them and torturing them or some type of shit, where maybe I'm taking it too far and I'm taking advantage of a situation for my own sake? I guess. But if it's just, right now it's about six. If somebody right while this stream is kicked in my door and I ran, grabbed what I had to grab, and y'all heard doom, 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 and I come back on the camera and I'm alive and the other person isn't, I didn't make that decision by myself. That person was the one like I'm willing to kick in the door and risk the results in Texas, knowing the reputation, and live or die with the results. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. And that's not a matter of hate. That's a matter of fear. That's a matter of fear. Only you can make that decision. So at a certain point, I mean, I don't even know what Now you just we're getting circular. Hey, if a person hates me, that's their business. I'm not going to make it my business. I don't have to make it my business. If they're opposing it, I have to defend myself. As simple as that. If this person made the decision to make me have to defend myself, they are as at fault as anything, right? Because you're not. Then what? I mean, I guess you are a nemesis. Yeah, like Bush said, nemesis trying to be a nemesis. Gino, no one told you to get out your cage, boy. I don't know if that's Geno Smith. Right there in the wrong. Listen, I mean, at a certain point, like you said, all I can do is de-escalate to the best of my ability and defend myself to the best of my ability. Everything else is on them. What breaks the cycle? People not transgressing on other people. If no one transgresses and people just talk things out, or people, if one party's unwilling to talk it out, there's nothing you can do. All you can do is walk away from the table. Now, sometimes both parties are willing to talk it out, but misunderstandings happen, and that never happens, and both sides see the other as unreasonable. That can happen too. But I mean, I don't know, man. I can't. I don't. Maybe because I'm blessed enough to work from home, so all I deal with people. I don't deal with many people in person. I'm not in a school situation because there's so many other situations in life where you're forced to deal with groups of people. This is not something that really is ever going to come in my purview. I just got my family, a few people I talk to at work, doing this stream, doing these, some of y'all, and that's it. So, and this is past the point. It's like I don't even know what to ask you anymore, man. To be 1,000%. No, dude, you've decided. Yeah, you've decided stuff is more important in your life. They decided. Yeah, like they don't transgress against people. They gotta, they have to live with their morality as well and live with the results of their actions as well. I just hope I'm not part of it. I can try to leave and escape. If escape is not an option, I have to defend myself. That's for anything. That's basic flight or fight. That's for all I'm really saying. And I'm starting with flight. I'm not trying to fight, right? So if you got a situation where you can't flee because the person's just such a part of your life and constantly transgressing, you have to defend yourself to whatever extent you be. That doesn't necessarily mean physically. It may be verbally. But you just got to defend yourself, stand your ground, and distance yourself from the person to the best of your ability. And if it is a person in your family or in your friend group, or maybe you got to leave the whole friend group. You know what I mean? Because if they enable the toxicity, then what are you going to do? Or you cannot. Or you can just stay and be a part of it, be a punching bag, and live with it. You know what I mean? That's a decision as well. And I'm not telling you that's the wrong decision. Maybe it's best to just, deal with that uncle that pisses you off every quarter and just deal with them for. I don't know. I don't know the exact. I need at this point to answer your question. I would need more specific details on a specific situation because you're asking in such generals, man. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Uh, Smash your ass, donkey from Shrek. That's what's up. You talk about breaking the cycle. I'm trying to break it. They won't, so it's on them. I'm gonna go ahead and pass CJ. Smash, he's snagging the dragon. Must be talking right. Yeah, he is fucking a dragon. So he's gotta be doing something right. But I'm gonna go ahead and pass. Yeah, pause front or back. That's wild work. This is wild work. It was started from philosophy days. Like, hey, do you want to smash Donkey from Shrek? No, I'm good actually, but I appreciate y'all being here. Funny shit. Not saying everyone wants to be a punching bag. Yeah, at this point, I would need specific details. I've done the best I can, man. Not to be funny. I just don't know how better to answer it. Um, not saying anyone should be a punching bag. Fair enough. I'm top. We're going to Afghan on that quadruped. Oh man, this is sick. Shout out to Donkey for Shrek. Ain't they making a Shrek 5? And everyone kind of guessed the plot. Is Zendaya supposed to be his daughter? It's like, oh boy, this looks predictable. But you know what, man? They gotta stop with these sequels, especially for Toy Story, Shrek. I mean, these things are 20 plus years old. The kids that made the kids that watched Shrek as a kid have kids, and not all of them because we're the incel generation. We're not going to reproduce. That's another can of worms altogether. But there are kids that watched Shrek growing up that are married with kids. It's do we need Shrek 5? Do we need these sequels? I can't chill alive just playing Ghost of Tsushima. You know what? Shout out to Ghost of Tsushima. I see that Ghost of Yotai came out. I thought about grabbing that. But I also heard that maybe woke, but I haven't done enough research to know. I haven't done a research to know. My middle ground is always to ignore. I don't have to focus on anything I don't want to. Choosing between ultimatums, the middle ground is just to ignore what I can. Eternal Nemesis. I suggest read Mr. A by Steve Ditko. He want to know about morality. Shout out to Mr. A. How can I? You know what? I've been wondering, seeing all the comic material that gets posted. How do people get? And maybe you can tell me off stream, Richard. What's the best way to get access to a lot of these comics? Because I'm an old fart. This already answered the question. Communication was shut down. We're through. Not listening anymore. She's happy because she yells. I'm happy because I don't. Yeah, at a certain point, just all you can do is shut down communication. Ghost Yutai looks sick. Yeah, some people are saying it's woke just because the female protagonist. I got a pipe and hot take. If the game mechanics is still cold, and the story is still cold, I don't care. Now I say that I do at least appreciate this instead of the Spider-Man thing where I walk into it not knowing. Like mainly the first Spider-Man. More people knew about the second one, but you walk into that first Spider-Man thinking you're just going to get a smooth game, and boy, is it! It is really the Mary Jane missions are terrible, and there's so many of them, and there's so much other stuff to do outside of what you want to do. That's why I just don't, I don't vibe with those games as much. And I played through them, but whatever, right? So we'll see. We'll see. There's also the thing, you could wait a little bit, see if the price gets knocked off anyway. But I thought about getting Ghost of Yotai. Um, I'm gonna have to watch some game reviews and and do some research to see if I trust it because that's a full price game. When it's like 20 or under for a game, it's easier. I'll just give it a try. But when it costs that much, it's like, Miles was bad too. I never played the Miles one. I never played the Miles one. What's racist? What I said was racist. I didn't play Miles Morales. I mean, those they the one who launched that game at like $40 a pop. It's like, come on, bro. That game was really supposed to be DLC, and they made the whole game. And what'd you say that was racist? You still be saying racist shit sometimes, even though you black. I appreciate you being here, Richard. I appreciate you being here, Courtney. Oh, yeah, he did have rap music all the time. It's like brothers like jazz and rock and all sorts of shit. But it is what it is. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Question mark share. I didn't say Miles was bad because he's black. I just didn't play Miles. I said my issue was the Mary Jane mission. Maybe if I made a mistake and said Miles, I meant to say Mary Jane. My issue was the first game having too many Mary Jane missions and distracting. All I want to do is travel around New York and do the random crimes. That's really what I want to do. And I didn't like the stories. I thought they were just not that good. Just rage bait. Okay. Like yeah, you've been sending me some crazy stuff. Hey, anybody can send me crazy stuff if you just hop in my Instagram DMs. They're open, so to speak. They're open. But I go through so many reels, I can't remember what you said. I'm not even gonna lie. Cause I doom scroll and you're lucky I don't send you everything. I do try to now they got this repost feature. I repost stuff. I just repost all the crazy shit I see. Uh, but I could kill people the same. Watching for Dildo, New York. Is that a real place? Let's math debate. Math plural? Question mark. Isn't that usually like a British English thing? Trying to say the avoidance of self-defense is not a solution to peace. Let's see. Well, peace may not be an option. Is peace always an option? Sometimes peace ain't an option. Send you stuff. I don't know who Art the Clown is. I'm going ahead and pass. I'll think about it. I don't know if you're ready for the crazy shit. Court. Peace is always an option. But I would need specifics, man. Because I mean, it just seems like you are just being an internal nemesis. It's like no matter what solution I come up with, it's like, well, that can't work. Like, in reality, I could just avoid the person, and they gotta live their life how they live. Tell you about what crazy shit. I'm just talking about the crazy shit I find doom scrolling. Which hey, I'm probably the crazy shit y'all find doom scrolling if you're here on this chat, right? But and doom scrolling is a bad habit I have. Um, and honestly, you want to talk about dealing with hate in real life? I guess the reason I say that is because the only hate I can get from real life is hate that I cause myself. So let's just say I'm doom scrolling on Instagram and I see a bunch of memes that maybe offend me, which I do. It does happen. Well, all I gotta do is not do it anymore and stop doing it. That's it. That's it. I don't have to focus on it and then keep falling in this stuff and then getting myself madder and madder and madder. I can just stop it. I can stop it at any time. So I can't really. I may just not have the scope to answer the questions that you know in the way that you want me to answer, man. I don't know. You know, at a certain point, it's like all you can do the best you can for your side. If somebody else is just eternal and wants to be the joke, I mean, what the fuck you want me to do? Like, you know what I mean? Somebody just wants to be out forever. It's like that's their business. That's their life. You know what I mean? I don't have. I ask them. Ask them why are they still. If somebody is has avoided you, and you're still pressing on them, why they're still doing it? Because I can't. You're asking me how to control another human. I don't know how. And that's the answer. My piece is I don't have to focus on it. My piece is what I direct my focus on. I can direct my focus on anything in the world, and that's a gift that everybody needs to make sure they keep in mind. I don't have to focus on it. It's that person's hate, not mine. Uh, Said Benny on the mask is crazy. Hey, Luke Kane, 808. Self hate, yeah, you got to. That's something you got to. Hey, Luke Kane, should I fight crime? No, I don't be fighting crime. I was just talking about how impractical it would be to be a vigilante because the government will find out immediately. Um, Imagine being a real life superhero without powers with like a cheap Batman. I was just talking about okay the practicality of doing it because I have thought about it. I'm too old and not in a good enough shape. When I was younger in shape, if you really train hard at MMA, you really train hard at parkour, You really did as much studying on investigative skills, detective skills. You did research. You had access to some decent amount of tech, and you could build yourself a decent protective armor and protective suit. You could practically get far, but again, the government's going to find out where you live with all the surveillance technology. That's the big issue. Said Benny on the mask. That's crazy. Fair enough. Enjoyed your original answer to hate. Gave you good insights. So thank you. All right, I tried. Happen to have a cash app. $8 a spread. By the way, you too old to be fighting crime. Well, it's hell of a thing to ask for money and then disparage somebody. But if y'all want to help out Rita Blanco, you can toss your cash app out there. I don't mind. Imagine being Logan. Yeah, like this is just it's a fun stream, man. But you know what? I don't care. If you want to toss your cash app, that's your business. If the chat wants to help, they can. Uh, but it is wild. Too old to be fighting crime. Hey, you never too old to have fun. You never too old to have fun. So, damn. You didn't have the timer out. You didn't have the slimer. I kind of rather you didn't. You know what? If you want to give, is Rita or Rich? That's her cash shot. I mean, that's up to y'all. I'm not about to give her a dime. Who the fuck goes to somebody chat asking for money and being disrespectful, right? And honestly, sometimes I be finding trolls fascinating. Like, what possessed you to do this? Y'all right to be zapping them, honestly, but it's just my dumb ass. Like, okay, you doing this why? In the same way, Eternal Nemesis just grilled me on hate. I'm trying to grill this person. Okay, what would possess you to do this? You want people to hit you up with a cash app, but then you come in first thing talking shit. Like, why? Why do this? You know what I mean? Why are you asking strangers for $8? You know what I'm saying? It ain't even like, like Courtney, Richard, some of you who hear, Boosh. If Boosh asked for $8, I probably would send him like, all right, for real, you really need $8? Like, yeah, man, I'm overdraft, whatever. You know what, Boosh, I'll send you $8. You hear all the time, we got a parasocial relationship, right? So I'll send you $8. This ain't no big ass channel. I ain't nobody special. Shit. And plus, he live in the Houston area anyway, so you somewhere local area. So it's like I really would, if you really need this, yeah. All right, I got you. Say Richard, y'all, regulars, I would really send y'all a few dollars to my cash app if y'all really like y'all. I ain't got it like that. If y'all need a rack, man, it's like y'all gonna have to fill out a loan with a bank or something. You know what I'm saying? But if it's like $20, something simple like that, I got y'all some shit like that. The Crimson Avenger posted a picture with the whole outfit on. You know what I really want to do is I want to have a cold ass outfit for Vigilante Williamson, just like the question of the Crimson. I want a suit, man. I kind of want like one version, like a tactical version, where I got like the logo and like a bulletproof vest and like all this tactical gear, and then another look where it's the suit. But so that's the long term goals for this stuff. Because those old fits, man, that's one thing we society lost. We should have kept suits as a part of the normal fit, right? Because suits was cool. I know suits is hot. It's in Houston, so you can't be really wearing those suits. But it was, that's just the suit, the suspenders, and shit. Like that shit was just cold fit, man. It just was a cold fit. Talking shit for begging for money. Yeah, it's wild work. Have a Sasuke katana coming in soon. Like the sword? Like an actual sword, CJ? That's dope if that's what you mean. Wear suits once a week. See, suits is just cold. I used to have a couple jackets. I don't really have no suits now. I need to get my suit game together. But it's just a cold fit. A real sword. It was 200. Oh man. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. That's dope. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. People stare at you a lot. Get attention to the suit. I wish that society fell off not keeping suits as a part of normal swag. And then the expense, because now suits have got expensive unless you go to a second hand store to get a suit. It's expensive. Now, granted, if you go, you go to a second hand store, you can get it for cheap. But we need working class. Uh, you need to be able to throw that shit on for a working class price. You know what I'm saying? Cause it don't matter the brand. Fuck the brand. It's just the suit. The shit I'm putting together. I'm making the suit. The suit don't make the man. The man make the suit. Only Sasuke's sword doesn't curve. I see. Like a real katana, but that's fine. Makes it look cooler. It's really about the look. I mean, it's not about the practice. You're not about to go out. We just talked about being a vigilante. You're not about to be no swordsman. You know what I mean? At least I don't think so. I hope not. I don't want it to be like, yeah, this person CJ slice a bunch of motherfuckers downtown. Like, damn, man, he was on the street. Uh, it's something you're gonna wear every day when you get back to New York. Fair enough. What is normal? I don't know, Chanter. I don't think there is an answer for that. Motherfuckers be 25 dressed like a 15-year-old, right? His boss's stepdad wore a suit every day. Yeah, well, true, yeah. But what is normal, Chandler? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. A lot older. Still dressed like you did in your 20s, fair enough. I dress like a homeless person. All I do is wear shorts. I dress like Kevin Owens with basketball shorts and baggy t-shirts and shit. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. Normal, because like there's no more mainstream. There's no more mainstream. This whole Bad Bunny thing proved there ain't no more mainstream. Like he's one of the biggest artists in music past 10 years. But so many people act like they don't know who he is because they don't know who he is. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we don't live in a world where everybody likes to say, which is good, honestly. This is a good thing for a lot of things. You know what I mean? Part of it is an indictment on how bad things are, but part of it is just this is the way of the world. There's 8 billion people on the planet. We all got our own taste. Somebody can have 100,000 fans and nobody knows who they are outside those 100,000 fans. You know what I'm saying? Somebody can have 10 million fans and nobody knows who they are outside those 10 million fans. So you don't you everybody's more nicheified space, whether you're talking about a video game, a musician, a movie, even. We don't have the widespread mainstream of just 5 to 7 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody hears the same song at once. Like even as late as we were talking about Cardi B earlier, when that fucking WAP came out, everybody heard WAP. You couldn't escape that song. Um, and I mean, really, you don't have as many songs like that even. And I wasn't a big fan of that song, but it was just like you don't get that everybody sees the same thing. That's not how it is anymore. It just isn't. Let's see. And I love and I was like Emilio, love that movie. People never think you're your age, at least. There you go. Keep going till you can't. There you go. I guess ever since you turned 18, more to dress nicer, plus know what you're attracted to, be a more elegant woman, got dressed better, fair enough. Hi, Chatter, the KO Nightmare. Why do you hide your I've talked about it a million times, but I'll talk about it again because we all got new people. Um, it mainly started as a music thing, as we are finally releasing music 5 years into this project. But I wanted to stay anonymous. I'm a big fan of Daft Punk and MF Doom. They both existed at the time of me having this idea. Obviously, rest in peace to MF Doom. And there's a guy who even does these type of streams who looks, he has an MF Doom mask. And then Daft Punk unfortunately broke up. But any event, I'm a fan of both of those artists. So I wanted to do an anonymous music thing. And then the internet happened. And then we got to a place where you can get fired for your opinion on the internet. And I need to keep a job, just like everybody else. So I wear a mask, for the dual purposes. One, it's just kind of fun. It makes it some fun. Become really just some chop weirdo, you know what I mean? So some visual fun. And two, because we do exist in a world where somebody can try to get you fired if they don't like what you say. So two reasons, two reasons. But I appreciate you being here, me. You dress up well too. Have seven suits in your closet all belong to your father. I see. You used to have to for work. I see. I see. I see. Where'd you work? Would you guys talk? Yeah, that's why I wear the mask. And it's something visually interesting. If I didn't have the mask on, you might not stop. Some people stop because they see the mask, even if they don't like it. If I'm still working, I wouldn't even be on YouTube. Yeah, it's a risk, especially because YouTube doesn't pay off. There was an era where if you worked hard on YouTube, you could almost guarantee a certain amount of growth, but they've changed the algorithm so many more times. It looks like it's paid for play. Me actually having run ads on a song now, see that, you get definitely a different response if you're running ads as opposed to not. Um, so it's just, it is what it is, man. I'm just trying to navigate the digital landscape. I do not go aggressively, James Dillon, but I appreciate you being here. Say what you want. You can't. That's true because Nike techs are way overpriced. You can't get two suits for the price of a Nike tech. Don't zap James Dillon. He's good so far. He's good so far because that's funny. We at least try to be. Jay, you gonna try to troll? At least try to be funny. No, I don't aggressively go. I don't. I haven't been going it all year. Nice, nice. Well, thank you. It's Reindeer Girl, ICL. It's not a troll. No, I don't go aggressively. I don't go. I'm trying to. Oh shit! Oh my god, I'm bored. No, I'm trying to be anti-goon, man. We got too gooned out of a culture, man. Too much gooner culture. Too much lust. You already see gluttony is an issue. I don't need lust to be an issue either. You know what I mean? So it's too much lustfulness. Too much goonery, man. Too much goonery. Didn't zap it. Well, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, we want to, keep it civil. I know a gooner when I see one. Nah, nah, nah. We've been team no fap for a minute, low key. I don't even know. I don't even know the days. It's been at least not to be grown, but it's been at least like 8 9 months, something like that. Seriously, it's been most of the year. Um, yeah, we try to be no fap because that shit. Porn addiction is a real thing. It's demonic. It takes a lot of energy. I don't have that energy to give to porn. So I can't go. I'm too old to go. People keep saying I'm too old to wear this mask. I'm too old to go. I don't have the energy to go and live life. So I gotta choose one. Hey, I'm from Russia. Well, PC, given your name, I could guess that. No, that's why. Yeah, we don't even. We talk about beautiful girls sometimes. But we don't even have a goon mentality where we just look at that girl. She got a fat ass. It's like yeah, if you see a fat ass, cool. But yeah, we try not to even do that because it's just not. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. I know you're just joking, bro, and I appreciate you being here. But it's not healthy, man. It's really there's gooning and gambling, man. Those are the two vices that's really doing a lot of damage to a lot of young men, a lot of young women too, believe it or not, but especially young men for both. A lot of young women is going. A lot of girls is putting PVC pipe up their body. That's another can of worms. But that steals your energy. It steals your life force. Somebody we was talking about peace earlier. Trying to find peace in this world is tough because there's a lot of things trying to steal your life force. I'm glad you joked about this. So we can talk, we can get not to be serious about everything, but it's like, okay, let's actually talk about it, man. Because a lot of people do have porn addictions. Porn. I say porn, by the way, with PORN, not corn, not prawn, because that's another can of worms. How they keep trying to make us use different language. You know what I mean? Instead of saying what it is, you unalive somebody. I know you killed somebody, man. But that porn addiction is dangerous. It's very dangerous, and it's dangerous in how it shapes your mind, how it shapes your views towards women, how it shapes your views towards yourself, and it's toxic and it's pervasive in the culture. That's why they try to add porn to everything and make everything sexualized, man. So it can't be dark. Too old to go. Go. You said Rick Flair go. Yeah, Rick Flair. Well, he never got that old. I don't know. That's on Rick. Even at 20, sick of the goonery. Fair enough. Girls these days get offended by guys giving compliments, confusing you. I'll be bummed that no one can ever compliment your assets. Well, I mean, I don't know, man. That's been a thing too. You know, there's laws against catcalling, but now we're starting to see a class of women that are ups. Now they're being upset that now they are starting to get upset they're not getting complimented. You know, how come men don't approach anymore has become a thing, and it's like, well, you know, you told us not to. And hey, somebody like me, I'm pretty chopped. You know what I mean? So who am I going to approach? So it is what it is. And yeah, porn has definitely ruined relationships. Chicks be harassing you at the gym. Yeah, porn's ruined relationships aplenty. See, that porn is no, you know, we can joke, whatever. We crack our jokes, but watch out. I hope, you know, you're not going crazy, man. Calm down on that shit if you do watch it, man. Because, you know, you got to think, man, uh, porn is a very new thing to human beings. We didn't have porn 300, 400, 500 years ago, 800 years ago. And I don't care if you find, well, there was some porn. It wasn't widespread. Everybody that had no access to no porn 400 years ago, 500 years ago. Maybe a few kings had some dirty pictures. Maybe assholes would draw dirty pictures off of their memory and shit. But like that wasn't some widespread thing where everybody got every pornographic video that ever existed on them at all times. Like that wasn't the reality. So we existed most of the existence of human race without porn. You'll be okay without it. You'll figure it out. Never cat call, just say what's up. Whatever happens, happens. Three demons flung you around the room, defending your dad. Well, prayers for you, brother. You need to pray. It is what it is. Yeah, you need some prayers. Call on Jesus' name and cast those demons out. Rebuke those demons in Jesus' name. In Jesus' name, because demons are real, man. Couldn't tell you. You know, I know this is just a stream. You could be joking, you could be serious. You know what I'm saying? I don't know either way. Cast those demons out. These days so different. You smile getting cat called. Never cat called. Yeah, I never cat called, but you know, just say hi. How you doing? Let me talk to you for a little bit. I think you know, you cute. What's your name? Where you from? Do 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 do. I would ask if she got a boyfriend. Yeah, she may say yeah, but at the same time, I'm not trying to be trapped in the closet like R. Kelly because I don't know. So I already bad. Back in the '80s, you would see the boys that would be excited to find their dad's Playboy. Yeah, yeah, you might find your dad's Playboy. That was it. You didn't have access to dirty content like you do now. Now it's so widespread. You know, it's having a cultural impact. Demons from Chile haunting. Yo, that shit is kind of real. With Richard, he's not joking, man. I don't know, man. You gotta listen. Some people believe in demonology and witchcraft and occultism, and you gotta watch how you interact with these people. That's real. That's a real thing, man. Again, you may or may not be joking, but it's some motherfuckers. It's not joking about that shit, bro. Believe it or not. Imagine having a playbook, but you gotta watch. I don't get it. Some motherfuckers have a deviant spirit, man. Going back to the spiritual, it's even chapter got dots. Some people have deviant spirits. Looking through my window, where Joe? Who's that peeking through my window? How? Nobody now. Oh, and you're Batman. That's what's up. That's what's up, Batman. How do you feel about absolute Batman? Let's see if you may just be saying that just to be saying it. But I see that comment. Apparently, reprinting it. People love this absolute Batman. I think it's goofy, but people love it. They're not cheating. That's true. But you know what is cheating? They're emotionally cheating. I think watching porn, you can argue is emotionally cheating. Just like have this work husband, work boyfriend shit. That's cheating too to me. Hi Batman. I be stoked. I love Batman. Hey LDG, appreciate you being here. Been meaning to say what's up to you. Well, here you are here. So what's up? LDG free the net. Check his stuff out. Trying to free the net. Got all sorts of big plans. Big homie LDG. So, oh man, shout out to shout out to I mean, you could toss the link in for anyone else who wants to watch it or not watch it, but read your content. You've been writing out for like 2 years, man, or it was a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it's been. Time keeps flying. Time keeps on slipping into the future. And so, yeah, man. Thank y'all all for being here. I don't see a problem with the magazine. Fair enough. But that again, we're past the days of a magazine now, man. Motherfuckers got favorite actresses. Motherfuckers got stats on the actresses like they athlete. You see that one motherfucker? It's a meme, but the guy is talking about these different porn stars and their different statistical attributes and all sorts of crazy shit. Some people that they talk about the loneliness epidemic. A lot of motherfuckers just gave up, and it's just like porn is. They're not even trying, and they're just gonna porn it out. So it depends how serious it can get. Almost 2 years for Our Man. Crazy work. Crazy work, but congrats, man. Congrats. You talking about back in the day. Fair enough. I guess, yeah, you can argue back in the day it wasn't as big of a deal. Back in the 80s where everything was rad. Everything was rad, and you were just looking at the porno mag from Dear Old Dad. Shout out to Ryan Mills and Zion West. Yeah, that's crazy. Think about that. A life exists because somebody was so addicted to a porno star that they went and had a kid with him. Crazy. Isn't that what she is? A porn star, right? Mariah Mills. It's hard to meet people nowadays. It's hard. That's why I'm not even trying. And it's not because I'm not necessarily hopeless. I just don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck to do. So I just I'm good. So I just focus on other stuff. Um, yeah, it's just it is what it is. A lot of people struggle dating now. A lot of people are guarded. Um, and you can't help to be guarded because you gotta defend yourself. You gotta try to stay alive. Try to stay alive. Yeah, there's decent men. We're not encouraging age gap dating. But in any event, guys, I'm actually about to get out of here. We went an hour and a half. Happy morning. Good morning. Hope everyone's having a good morning. I thank everybody who watches these streams. We're on the road to 1,000. Not sure we might be at 1,000. We're gonna get to 1,000 pretty soon, so that's pretty cool. Check out for the music. We're currently promoting the first single, which is the title track and the first track of Borrow Nostalgia that doesn't exist. Once we get it all mixed, we will be on DSP platforms, Bandcamp, YouTube, SoundCloud, my own site, hopefully, and we'll get all that going. So I appreciate everybody watching this. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do that. Excuse me. But even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night. God bless. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.